I'm happy to take questions.
Well, thank you, Anthony, and let me start by acknowledging Anthony Albanese and what he's done in what is obviously, as you now can see, a very significant reshuffle. He's given all of us an opportunity to take on new challenges in the run from here through to the next election. And that's a very exciting challenge for me indeed. I want to acknowledge our economics team and the work that's been done by Jim Chalmers, Katie Gallagher and everyone in the economics team, and particularly the work that has been done by Brendan O'Connor. And as Anthony said, Brendan is going to do a fine job as the Shadow Defence Minister of our country. COVID-19 has rewritten our lives. The last year has been an astonishing year. And while we maintain many criticisms of the way in which it's been handled, while we are not yet through it, the truth is that our country has fared much better than most, and that is a great blessing. But as we look beyond COVID-19, we are now at a point where we have the opportunity to reimagine Australia, to reimagine an Australia which has an economy in it that builds and generates permanent long-term jobs. And to do that requires vision. And vision is something that this government simply does not do. COVID-19 has brought out the best of Australians. We have seen neighbours looking after neighbours. We have seen the selfless bravery of our health and aged care workforce. But COVID-19 has also exposed a number of areas where this country has been going wrong. What COVID-19 has made completely clear is we simply do not make things in this country today in the way in which we used to. And if you want to think about where all the jobs have gone, you can start right there. As modern economies around the world have climbed the technological ladder when it comes to manufacturing, Australia has stood still. And if we are going to become a high-tech manufacturing country which generates the kind of jobs that we need, if we're going to become a country like Korea or like Germany, then we are simply going to have to change the way in which we see science. Science is going to have to become front and centre in our national discussion. And that starts here in this building. It actually starts in the discussions that are held in the media organisations that you represent. It's not too much to say that the most significant piece of microeconomic reform which is facing our country today is to infuse our society and our economy with science and technology. As a nation, we have to change our cultural relationship to science. And I really look forward to being able to tell that story in the lead up to the next election. Because right now, we are amongst the worst commercialisers of public research in the OECD. If our Olympic team performed at that level, there would be a Royal Commission. And as long as that stat exists, we will not be building a modern manufacturing base in this country which generates the kind of jobs that we need. In recent months, we've seen the troubles that have played out in relation to our relationship with China cost thousands of jobs around the country. And what that demonstrates is that this is a government which is unable to manage the most important relationships that we have. There's no plan for how that's going to be fixed. And there's no plan for how we're about to diversify our trading base. And when we look at the way in which COVID has played out over the last year, despite the establishment of the National Cabinet, our federation has been put under enormous stress. There has been an abdication by this Prime Minister and by this government from playing the federal government role within our federation. And everything we have seen in respect of our borders, every moment when we have watched this Prime Minister duck responsibility for an issue which should have principally been dealt with at a federal level, gives voice to the fact that this is a government which has not played the role that it should have in terms of the national presence within our federation. And when we look at all of these issues in terms of the reconstruction challenges that they offer us going forward, all of them come back to one place. That's jobs. Jobs in the here and now. Jobs that are generated by our small businesses, which are the engine room of our economy, and the kind of good, permanent, long-term jobs that come from having a manufacturing base. That is what we're going to be focused on. That is what's going to be central to our message each and every day in the lead up to the next election. That is what the next election will be contested about. And that is the choice that we're going to give the Australian people when they next go to the ballot box. Because the vision that we offer stands in stark contrast to the wasted, neglectful decade that has been delivered to this country by this government. There are more than 2 million Australians today who are looking for work. At the end of the day, that is Scott Morrison's record, and that is what he should be judged upon.